Hey everybody, how you guys doing out there? I hope everybody is staying healthy and safe. Well, I had an idea for a video today, and I happened to mention the idea in my last video I did on the review of the 2016 Air Jordan 1 band version. Now that I have both in my collection, I wanted to do a comparison video between the Air Jordan 1 High and the Air Jordan 1 Mid. Now, before I purchased either one of these shoes, I would hear the arguments between the two from the different sources that are available out there. Usually the mid I would hear, doesn't have the greatest materials. It is cheaper. But then, we'd have the Air Jordan 1 High purists saying that I don't understand why Nike even makes the mid, when we have the high. So I wanted to see for myself what the difference was. So what I'd like to do today is I'd like to compare the two that I have in my collection. So I have the Air Jordan 1 High in the 2016 band colorway, and I have the 2020 Air Jordan 1 Mid in the Chicago colorway with the black toe. And before we get started, I just want to say right off the bat that this is not going to be an apples to apples comparison. They may look exactly the same, but they are two completely different shoes. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at this a little bit more in depth and see what you guys think.
So why don't we go ahead and start from the bottom of the shoe and work our way up. As you can see here, the soles of the two shoes are pretty much identical. The red being the band version and the black being the mid version. So let's take a side view of the shoes now. As you can see right off the bat, the high, of course, is a little bit higher than the mid, not by much. Take a look at the Wings logos on the shoes. You can see that the mid version has a larger Wings logo. It's a little bit more bold, and the other one is more muted and small. Take a look at the back of the shoe here. And let's actually find out what the actual difference is between the two. So it looks like the high is about 6.5 inches roughly, and the mid is about 5.5. So you're looking at about a difference of an inch around the heel between the two shoes. Other than that too, of course, the high has a better quality. So you can see here the cut of the leather. You can kind of see like the grains, whereas on the mid, it's a pretty clean cut because the materials aren't real leather, so they're probably some sort of synthetic leather, but it's a lot cleaner, thinner than the high. Now, again, the high version of the shoe, the band, the leather quality on this is incredible versus I'm assuming, like I had said, it's some kind of synthetic on the mid. Also, the mid is a lot stiffer than the high version. As far as padding, they're pretty equal. I think the high version is definitely a little bit softer though than the mid version. We noticed on the earlier that the definitely has a little bit higher. So on the high version, we can count here that there are actually 9 eyelets on the high versus I believe there are 8 eyelets on the mid. The extra eyelet on the high is the 7th one that we counted, as you can see here. Now again, if we just take a look at the side by side here of the shoe, as you can see here again, the quality of leather on the high is really great in comparison to the mid. You can see it's a very thick leather, tumbled leather, whereas on the mid version here, again, I'm no expert in materials. I'm going to assume that this is some kind of synthetic leather. You can see it's a lot thinner versus the leather on the high, the tumbled leather on the high. Now, if we take a look at the shoe straight on here at the toe, definitely could see that the mid version has a higher toe versus the high version. Also, it's a lot stiffer, almost plasticky versus the high, which is, as you can see, extremely soft. It's also, I guess, again, based on the materials that they use, they have to kind of round the toe here, whereas the high kind of just gently slopes down to the tip of the shoe. Now we take a look over the shoe here, the toe cap. Again, the synthetic leather that they use versus the tumble leather that's used on the high, I mean, it's night and day. The tumble leathers are so much softer than the leather used on the mid. As we go up the shoe here, you'll notice that, again, another difference on the shoe here is mentioned in my review is they use the Jordan Air logo on the mid versus the original Nike Air logo on the high. So I turn the flash on here, and let's take a look on the inside of the shoe. I'm not sure what the material is on the high, but it's a lot more durable, it seems, whereas the mid seems more like almost like a neoprene almost. Both are comfortable, but it just almost feels like the high is going to be a little bit more durable than the mid over time. So we'll take a look at the inside of the shoe now. Again, the Nike swoosh on the high has this very nice tumble leather, very soft. You can see here almost like a snake skin, whereas again the mid has a more of a plasticky, I guess, synthetic-y leather. It's also a lot stiffer. I also think the swoosh on the mid might be a little bit larger. I'm not 100% sure though. It could just be the way we're looking at it, but again, the mid panelings too between the two, the high is just extremely soft compared to the mid.
Okay, so we just finished our comparison between the Air Jordan 1 High in the 2016 band colorway versus the Air Jordan 1 Mid in the 2020 Chicago colorway with the black toe. I guess the last thing I'm going to talk about here is really the price of the shoe. This shoe retails, the mid retails for $115. The high retails for $170. Now, I'm going to say that if this shoe came out today, the average everyday consumer would find it very hard to actually get this shoe. Anytime a shoe like this comes out in this original colorway, people want it, and it sells out in an instant. So even though I say that this retails for $170, more than likely if this shoe came out today, you would have to pay resale prices, and that could be anywhere between $200, $300, $400, maybe even $500, which I know is a little crazy, versus you can get something similar, a substitute for $115. Now, my guess is that Nike probably makes the mid, and this is just a guess, and I don't. Most of you don't know this, but I am an accountant. That is my job. So my guess is that Nike continues to put out the mid because my guess is that they make a better profit on the mid than they do the high. Based on the materials that I used here versus this, I'm assuming that they probably make a greater profit margin on this shoe than this shoe. So that's probably why they keep pumping these out. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, Nike is basically giving people the opportunity to purchase a shoe that looks similar to this shoe, similar to the high, for a lower price. And again, it really comes down to what you're willing to pay for the shoe. If you want to pay the $170, potentially $200, $300, $400 for this shoe, the original shoe, great. If you only want to pay, the $115 for this, that's fine too. I mean, they're both great looking shoes. And at the end of the day, I mean, let's face it, they are sneakers. All we do really is we put them on and wear them, and that's it. I guess my final thought on the comparison between the high and the mid is that buy what you like. I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. If you like the high, buy the high. If you like the mid, buy the mid. I thought both of these shoes looked amazing. And I will admit that this shoe was only $115, and I was like, I'm gonna pick it up. I like it. I don't. If I like it or I don't like it, I'm gonna pick it up because the price is. And you can't beat the price for this. To get, like I mentioned in my review for this shoe, to get a high in this colorway. This colorway goes for $600, $700, $800 in my size, which is a size 14. So, if I can get something similar for $115 for now, I'm gonna pick it up. So, I guess my last thought is just buy what you like. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. As long as you think it's cool and you like it, buy it. So, okay, well, I'm going to end the video here. I think this has probably dragged on long enough, but I just want to thank you guys again for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you like these videos and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I'll be putting out some more things here and there. Again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really do hope everybody out there is staying healthy and safe. And again, I hope you guys have a great day and take care. Thanks again.